I was asked to talk about two not so common applications for bathing. Maybe the first slide here. In Austria, we have a very long tradition in terms of legal regulations of bathing water hygiene. And even if we are very, very tiny, especially compared to the US, we have still 9 federal states. But we have one national law for bathing water, which goes back to 1976. And further on, an ordinate, which was in 1978 and came out newly in 2012 and is now under revision. The two not so usual applications which I'm talking about today is whirl tubs and swimming ponds. So this is something which the health ministry in Austria has not selected, and it's not in favor of using these specific applications, but it was on the market, and therefore it was a need to do regulations. Let's talk firstly about the whirl tubs. So what is a whirl tub in the definition? It is a tub which is filled with water from the hot water system in the building, so it's more or less heated drinking water. It is equipped with a water or air circulation system, and it is intended for single use. So the hazards should not be very high to get an infection from this application, because there's no person-to-person infection, even if very closely related people are using it. But what we maybe underestimate is the biofilm formation in the tubing system. And you can see here in this second picture on the right-hand side, this tubing system, which is ideal, which is perfectly made for proliferation of biofilms. And within these biofilms, of course, also there are opportunistic pathogens like Pseudomonas aeruginosa or Legionella. There's no need there's no requirement for permanent disinfection of the bathing water. It's not mandatory, but a chlorine disinfection between usages has been implemented because of the accidents which happened. And the cases were, for instance, here a fatal case, a female tourist, 50 years old. She was on holiday in Austria in an apartment where such a whirl tub was installed, and the water in these whirl tub contained 40,000 CFU per 100 ml Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and so you can see this is not really a non-risky application if it's not maintained carefully. With respect to COVID-19, what did we do? The only thing which we had to do was, if in facilities where more than one of these whirl tubs are installed, that the distance between the tubs, so maybe the usage of every second tub is allowed, and in between there has to be a distance of 1 to 2 meters at least, so that a person-to-person transmittance can be avoided. Further measures regarding the water or regarding disinfection are not necessary. And the second facility which I would like to describe is swimming ponds. So the swimming ponds are heavily advertised by the industry because people do not like chemicals anymore. Natural swimming is what is requested, and so the advertising is that these ponds can be operated without chlorine. And of course, for us, it is a very severe situation. It's the advisory board for the health ministry. That the infection control in such a case is, of course, not so easy. So how did we try to come out of this situation? So again, the definition, a swimming pond is an artificial surface water body which should resemble as good as possible a natural water body. It is filled with a specified water quality. Pollution control, some discussions is going on that ecological systems may help to clean the water. It's optional that circulation, filtration of the pond water is allowed. At least 1/3 of the surface area has to be used as a regeneration zone. So this is not a swimming zone, it's just for regeneration. Heating of the water is not allowed. And the most important thing, the most important infection control measure is that per bather, at least 10 cubic meter water volume has to be in the pond. And also the number of people swimming simultaneously in the pond is restricted to this value. So this is the water quality requirements in microbiological, for the microbiological quality. You see the making up water, the filling water is tap water or surface water with a very low contamination level of E. coli, enterococci. And Salmonella is also controlled because birds like these artificial ponds, like they are liking the natural water bodies. And the water in the pond is restricted with 100 E. coli per 100 ml, enterococci 50 enterococci per 100 ml. And if filters are used in this technical system, then Pseudomonas aeruginosa has to be investigated as well. And there's a limit value of 25 Pseudomonas aeruginosa per 100 ml. From the chemical parameters, we are controlling phosphate, oxygen, pH, and visibility. In case now for the COVID-19 situation, since we have already reopened our natural ponds, in the first phase of the reopening, which was 29 of May, the limitation of the access to the facility from the entrance, the numbers of guests in these beginnings were that we allowed a number of guests depending on the usable area in meters squared divided by 10. And a limitation in the pool or in the swimming pond with a number of bathers simultaneously in the pool. For the chlorinated water, just to give you the differences between chlorinated water and the swimming pond water, the area of the swimming pool divided by 6, and the area of the swimming pond divided by 25. So this is, of course, because of we do not have a disinfection, only a dilution effect in these specific situations. So these were the guidelines for the operators. The first guideline here, the usable area, is in the meanwhile cancelled. So it's just on the land. It's only the distance 1 to 2 meters from people who do not belong together. The recommendations for the bathers, that they have to keep a distance to non-related persons of at least 1 meter. In water, the distance between bathers 1 to 2 meter in the chlorinated pool water and 3 to 4 meter in swimming ponds or in natural surface bathing water sites. And also we had to instruct our bathers that they pay attention to the signs with the numbers of simultaneously bathers allowed. And it looks like this. So there are signs on the ponds and on the pools and on the ponds where you can see the number of people allowed simultaneously in the pool. So this is all from our side, and I thank you very much for your attention.